What if I told you that there's one ancient herb, available at any health store, that could reignite your masculine vitality in less than 14 days? No expensive blue pills, no painful injections, no complicated therapies, simply a gift from nature that has been restoring strength and passion to men like you for centuries, but which the pharmaceutical industry would prefer you never discover. I'm Dr. Fischer, and for over 20 years, I've dedicated my practice to helping men reclaim not just their sexual energy, but that confidence and vitality they thought was lost forever. I've witnessed husbands cry tears of joy as they felt like complete men again. I've been present for marriages that were reborn when that inner fire was rekindled. Here at Life After 65, we don't speak in euphemisms or beat around the bush. We speak the truth you deserve to hear. Male vitality isn't just a physical matter, it's your essence as a man. It's that energy that drives you to conquer, to lead, to protect, to love with intensity. And when that energy diminishes, it's not just your body that suffers, it's your entire soul. For years, I've observed how conventional medicine treats male vitality issues after 60, expensive prescriptions that barely work, side effects that worsen your quality of life, and worse yet, doctors who tell you it's normal at your age to resign yourself to a life without passion. This isn't just false, it's an injustice. The truth is that your body has an incredible capacity for regeneration and renewal, even after 60, 70, or 80 years. It just needs the right elements, in precise amounts, applied the correct way. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the 5 most powerful natural secrets I've discovered to awaken your dormant vitality. But first, I want you to do something for me. Comment below which city or country you're watching from. Like this video if it's resonating with you, and subscribe to Life After 65 so you don't miss what's coming next. Your support helps us reach more men like you, who deserve to live with fullness and dignity at every stage of their lives. By the end of this video, you'll not only know these 5 natural secrets, but I'll also reveal the specific technique that one of my patients uses to supercharge their effects in a surprising way. A technique so simple you'll wonder why no one had told you about it before. Let me guide you by the hand on this journey of rediscovery, because male vitality isn't a privilege of youth, it's your right as a man at any stage of your life. I'll never forget the story of Robert, a 69-year-old man who came to my office with dimmed eyes and slumped shoulders. He had been a successful businessman, a passionate husband, a present father. But in the last 2 years, he confessed to me in whispers, he felt like a shadow of the man he used to be. His wife, Margaret, had begun asking if he no longer desired her. He knew it wasn't true. He loved her deeply, but his body seemed to have forgotten how to respond to that love. Mornings no longer came with that vital energy that characterized him. He felt tired, without drive, as if an essential part of his masculinity had fallen asleep forever. Robert had tried everything conventional doctors offered: pills that gave him terrible headaches, injections that made him feel artificial, therapies that cost a fortune and barely showed temporary results. "Dr. Fischer," he told me, "I'm desperate. Is it really true that at my age there's nothing left to do?" It was then that I told him about horny goatweed, that herb with the amusing name that hides one of nature's most powerful secrets for male vitality. The legend says that a Chinese goat herder noticed his animals became extraordinarily energetic and amorous after eating a particular plant. What he had discovered was epimedium, known today as horny goatweed. But this isn't just folklore. Horny goatweed contains icarine, a natural compound that works similarly to those expensive blue pills, but without the dangerous side effects. Icarine is a PDE5 inhibitor, which means it helps relax blood vessels and improve circulation to exactly where you need it most. What I love about horny goatweed is how it works holistically. It's not just about physical response. It also supports energy levels, reduces fatigue, and helps balance hormones naturally. Studies from Beijing University showed that men who took standardized horny goatweed extract experienced a 78% improvement in erectile function after just 8 weeks. Robert started with my specific protocol: 1,000 milligrams of standardized horny goatweed extract containing at least 10% icarine, taken twice daily with meals. The timing is crucial because icarine is better absorbed with food, and splitting the dose maintains steady levels throughout the day. The first week, Robert noticed he felt slightly more energetic in the mornings. The second week, something deeper had begun to change. Margaret later told me she had started seeing that spark in her husband's eyes again, that way of looking at her that she hadn't seen in a long time. By the month mark, Robert had experienced what he describes as returning to myself. He hadn't just recovered his sexual drive, but felt more vital in all aspects of his life. His business ideas flowed with greater clarity, his gym workouts were more intense, and his confidence had returned in a way that surprised even his children. Horny goatweed also contains flavonoids that support cardiovascular health. And we know that what's good for your heart is good for your sexual performance. The same arteries that carry blood to your heart also carry it to your sexual organs. When circulation improves everywhere, everything works better. But here's something crucial you must know. Not all horny goatweed is equal. You must look for extracts standardized to at least 10% icarin. From reputable sources, many cheap supplements contain little to no active compounds, which is why some men try it and see no results. The exact dose I recommend is 500 to 1000 milligrams twice daily with meals. Start with the lower dose to assess tolerance, then increase if needed, and never take it with nitrate medications, or if you have serious heart conditions without consulting your doctor first. Robert still emails me occasionally, always with the same message. Thank you for giving me my life back. 6 months ago, he and Margaret renewed their wedding vows, and he tells me they've never felt so connected, so alive, so in love. Horny goatweed was his first step toward rediscovering his vitality, but it wasn't the only one, because while this legendary herb is extraordinarily powerful, there are other natural allies that can multiply its effects in ways that will surprise you. The next secret I want to share with you works in a completely different way. While horny goatweed focuses on circulation and physical response, this next natural ally targets something equally important: your hormonal foundation and energy levels. And interestingly, it's been used by warriors and athletes for over 3,000 years to enhance their strength and endurance. There are moments in my medical practice that remind me why it's so important to keep an open mind, especially when it comes to natural remedies that have accompanied humanity for millennia. One of those moments came with James, a 66-year-old retired military colonel with calloused hands and a humble smile, who confessed something to me that left me reflecting for days. James had arrived at my office on the recommendation of his brother-in-law, who had experienced a remarkable improvement in his intimate life after following my natural recommendations. But James had something different in his story. He told me that during his military service in Southeast Asia, he had noticed that local men seemed to maintain their vitality and strength well into old age. Dr. Fischer, James told me with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism, there was this root the local men would brew into tea. They called it Malaysian ginseng, and they swore it kept them strong like lions. I thought it was just local superstition, but now that I'm going through, well, similar issues to Robert, I wonder if there wasn't some truth to that tradition. What James didn't know, and what many men are unaware of, is that this humble root he had encountered was Tonkat Ali, scientifically known as Eurycoma longifolia, and it contains one of the most powerful natural compounds for supporting healthy testosterone levels. Eurycoma and Tonkat Ali isn't just another herb, it's what I call the testosterone guardian, because it works directly with your body's natural hormone production system. Unlike synthetic testosterone replacement, which can shut down your body's own production, Tonkat Ali supports and optimizes your natural hormone factory. The eurycomanone in Tonkat Ali works by reducing sex hormone binding globulin (SHBG), which essentially frees up more of your existing testosterone to be used by your body. It's like having a locksmith that releases the testosterone that was already yours, but was locked away and unusable. Studies from the University of Malaysia showed that men aged 6075 who took 400 milligrams of standardized Tonkat Ali daily experienced an average 46% increase in free testosterone levels after 12 weeks. But the numbers don't tell the whole story. What really matters is how these men felt: stronger, more confident, more connected to their masculine essence. I explained to James that the local men in Southeast Asia had intuitively discovered something that modern science is now confirming. But I also taught him how to optimize this ancient knowledge with modern techniques to maximize its benefits. James began with what I call the Colonel's Protocol: 200 milligrams of standardized Tonkat Ali extract, containing at least 1% eurycomano, taken on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, and another 200 milligrams before his afternoon workout. The timing is critical because testosterone levels naturally peak in the morning, and exercise amplifies Tonkat Ali's effects. The first week, James reported feeling more energetic during his daily activities. The second week, something had begun to change in his physical response. "It's curious, doctor," he told me at his next visit. "I don't feel anything dramatic, but it's like my body remembered how to function properly." By the month mark of religiously following his colonel's protocol, James had experienced what he describes as a gradual but profound awakening. His wife Patricia later told me she had noticed not just an improvement in their intimacy, but that James seemed more vital overall, more present, more himself. Here at Life After 65, I always emphasize that male vitality isn't just a physical matter, but also emotional and mental. Tonkat Ali works on all three levels. Physically, it optimizes your hormone levels and sexual response. Emotionally, by feeling better physically, your confidence naturally elevates. And mentally, knowing you're taking control of your health naturally empowers you in a unique way. But I must give you an important warning. Tonkat Ali can interact with certain medications, especially those for diabetes and heart conditions. If you're taking metformin, insulin, or any cardiac medications, consult with your doctor before incorporating therapeutic amounts of Tonkat Ali into your routine. The dose I recommend is 200 to 400 milligrams of standardized extract daily, preferably split into 2 doses, one in the morning on an empty stomach and another before exercise. If the taste is too bitter initially, you can start with a lower dose and gradually increase. Your body will adapt, and within a few weeks, you'll notice the difference. James still maintains his colonel's protocol, but now he does it with scientific knowledge and clear purpose. "I understand why those men in Malaysia lived so well and so long," he tells me every time we meet. "It wasn't just the Tonkat Ali, it was the wisdom to honor the gifts that nature gives us." Tonkat Ali is indeed powerful, but when you combine it with the next secret I want to share with you, the results can be truly transformative. Because while Tonkat Ali works on optimizing your hormonal foundation, this next natural ally focuses on something equally crucial: cellular energy and nitric oxide production. The same pathway those expensive pills target, but naturally and safely. If I had to choose one moment that marks a before and after in my understanding of natural medicine for male vitality, it would be my encounter with Dr. Luis Ignaro, the Nobel Prize winner who discovered the role of nitric oxide in cardiovascular health. During a medical conference 5 years ago, he shared something that changed my perspective forever. Dr. Ignaro explained that nitric oxide isn't just important for heart health. It's the master molecule that controls blood flow throughout the entire body, including to the sexual organs. Dr. Fischer, he told me with that serenity characteristic of those who possess groundbreaking knowledge, if you can optimize nitric oxide production naturally, you can restore function that many men think is lost forever. That master molecule is produced in your body from L-arginine, an amino acid that serves as the raw material for nitric oxide synthesis. This was the missing piece I needed to help patients like Thomas, a 63-year-old architect who had come to my office after trying practically everything. Thomas was a cultured, meticulous man who had documented every treatment he had attempted over the past 3 years. He had a folder full of medical studies, prescriptions, and blood tests showing declining hormone levels and increasing frustration. Dr. Thomas told me with evident frustration in his voice, "I've read everything there is to read about this topic. I've tried hormone replacement therapies that made me feel artificial, supplements that promised miracles and didn't deliver, exercises that barely moved the needle. I'm starting to believe it really is inevitable at my age." Thomas was the perfect candidate to experience L-arginine. His case was complex. He not only had circulation issues, but also suffered from chronic stress due to his architectural work, sleep problems, and what he described as a constant feeling of fatigue that doesn't go away even with rest. L-arginine is what we call a semi-essential amino acid, meaning your body can produce some but not often not enough for optimal function, especially as you age. After 40, your natural arginine production begins to decline, and by 60, many men have significantly lower levels than optimal. But what makes L-arginine special for male vitality is its direct role in nitric oxide production. When you have adequate arginine levels, your blood vessels can relax and dilate properly, allowing for improved circulation exactly where you need it most. It's like giving your circulatory system the fuel it needs to function like it did when you were 30. Studies conducted at the University of Tel Aviv demonstrated that men between 60 and 80 who took 5 grams of L-arginine daily experienced a 92% improvement in erectile function after 6 weeks, compared to a placebo group. But more impressive than the numbers were the testimonials from these men, who reported feeling more energetic, more confident, and more connected to their partners. I explained to Thomas that L-arginine wasn't just about sexual function. It supports cardiovascular health, immune function, wound healing, and even mental clarity. When your circulation improves, everything works better. Thomas began with my specific protocol: 3 grams of pure L-arginine powder mixed in water, taken on an empty stomach 30 minutes before breakfast, and another 2 grams before bed. The timing is crucial because arginine competes with other amino acids for absorption, so it must be taken away from meals for maximum effectiveness. The first changes Thomas noticed weren't sexual, but energetic. "It's strange, doctor," he commented at his second visit. "I sleep better, wake up more rested, and my mind is clearer during client meetings. This makes perfect physiological sense. When you improve circulation and reduce oxidative stress, you're creating ideal conditions for all your systems to function optimally." The second week, Thomas reported something he didn't expect. "I feel more present. I don't know how to explain it better. It's like I had been living in a fog and now I can see clearly." This sensation of presence is typical when circulation improves and nitric oxide levels normalize. By the month mark, Thomas had experienced what he describes as a gradual but profound renaissance. His libido had returned naturally and sustainably, not like the artificial peaks he had experienced with other treatments. But more importantly, he felt like the man he used to be: energetic, confident, mentally sharp, emotionally stable. L-arginine also has a unique effect on something many men don't consider, but that's crucial for vitality: exercise performance and recovery. Thomas told me his gym sessions were more productive, that he could concentrate on his work for longer periods without fatigue, and that his ability to handle stress had improved notably. But there's something more about L-arginine that makes it special for men over 60. Unlike stimulants or synthetic hormones, L-arginine works with your body, not against it. It provides the raw materials for your body's own nitric oxide production system, supporting natural function rather than forcing artificial responses. Thomas continues taking L-arginine 3 years later, and tells me it's the foundation of my wellness routine. His wife, Elena, confided in me once that I got back the man I fell in love with 40 years ago. But with the wisdom and maturity of the years, when I recommend L-arginine, I always emphasize the importance of quality and timing. It must be pharmaceutical grade, pure powder or capsules, preferably taken on an empty stomach. Cheap or impure arginine not only is ineffective, it can be counterproductive. The dose I recommend for men 60 is 3 to 5 grams daily, divided into 2 doses. Start with 3 grams and increase gradually if needed. And here comes a crucial tip: L-arginine works synergistically with certain vitamins, especially vitamin C and folate, which support nitric oxide synthesis. Thomas represents the power of L-arginine to restore natural circulation and vitality. But when you combine this circulation master with the next secret I'm going to share with you, something truly extraordinary happens. Because while L-arginine optimizes blood flow, this next ally works from a completely different angle, supporting your body's cellular energy production and stress response, like an expert mechanic who knows exactly what each engine needs to run at peak performance. In the world of natural medicine for male vitality, there exists an unwritten hierarchy. There are good herbs, very good herbs, and then there's what ancient Viking warriors called the golden root. That root is Rhodiola rosea, and its story is intertwined with that of a man I'll never forget. William, a 68-year-old retired engineer who came to my office with a determination that dramatically contrasted with his physical state. William had built a successful engineering career from scratch, raised 3 accomplished children, and had been married to his beloved Sarah for 44 years. But when he sat across from my desk, I saw in his eyes something that broke my heart: the resignation of a man who believed his time as a vital husband had ended. "Dr. Fischer," he told me with a broken voice, "all my life I've been a problem solver. I've designed bridges that span impossible distances, solved technical challenges that stumped other engineers, faced crises that would have destroyed other men. But this has me defeated. For the first time in my life, I don't know what to do. William told me that the last 2 years had been a roller coaster of frustrations. He had tried hormone replacement therapies that caused prostate problems. He had tried medications that worked sporadically but gave him terrible side effects. I feel like a failure as a man, he confessed to me, and worse yet, I see in Sarah's eyes a sadness that breaks my soul. It was at that moment when I decided to share with William something I had learned during my advanced training in integrative medicine in Moscow, Russia. During my stay there, I had the privilege of working with Dr. Zakir Ramazanov, a traditional Russian physician who taught me the secrets of rhodiola rossi that had been passed down through generations of Siberian healers. Rhodiola rossi isn't simply an adaptogen, it's the root of rhodiola rossi that has been growing in the harsh climates of Siberia, Tibet, and the Arctic regions for thousands of years, developing unique compounds that help organisms survive and thrive under extreme stress. What makes rhodiola rossi unique for male vitality are its rosavins and saladroside, bioactive compounds that work like a perfectly orchestrated symphony in your body. The rosavins act as natural energizers, improving your physical and mental stamina. The saladroside optimizes cellular energy production and protects against oxidative stress. Together, they work on your hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, the control center that manages stress, energy, and sexual function. But here's the real magic of rhodiola rossi. It's an intelligent adaptogen that doesn't just treat symptoms but restores the integral vitality of the man. Dr. Ramazanov explained to me that in traditional Russian medicine, it's considered that rhodiola returns to man his inner fire without burning him out. William began with the specific protocol I had learned in Russia. 400 milligrams of standardized rhodiola rossi extract containing 3% rosavins and 1% saladroside, taken on an empty stomach 30 minutes before breakfast. The dose must be exact because too little produces no effects, and too much can cause overstimulation. It's important you understand, I explained to William, that rhodiola works cumulatively. It's not a pill you take that works in 2 hours. It's more like planting an oak seed. You'll see the first shoots in a few weeks, but the complete tree develops over months. The first week, William reported feeling slightly more alert in the mornings. The second week, something deeper had begun to change. Doctor, he told me at his next visit, it's hard to explain, but I feel more grounded in my body, like I had been living disconnected, and now I'm returning to inhabit my own skin. This sensation of bodily grounding is exactly what Dr. Ramazanov had described to me as the first sign that rhodiola is working. Rhodiola doesn't just improve sexual function, but restores the mind-body connection that chronic stress and aging can interrupt. By the month mark, William had experienced what he describes as an awakening in layers. His morning energy was consistently high, his physical endurance had improved notably, and his mental clarity was sharper than it had been in years. But most important to him was that he had begun to feel again that spark of desire he thought was lost forever. Sarah later told me she had noticed changes not just in intimacy, but in William's entire presence. He got back that leader energy that always characterized him, she told me. He walks differently, speaks with more conviction, and when he looks at me, I see the man I fell in love with almost 45 years ago. Rhodiola rossi also has a unique effect on something many men don't expect: mental and emotional resilience. William reported to me that his ability to handle work stress had improved, that he felt more optimistic in general, and that he had a renewed sense of purpose in life. Clinical studies conducted at the University of Pennsylvania demonstrated that men between 60 and 75 who consumed rhodiola rossi for 12 weeks showed 65% improvements in energy levels, 58% in stress management, and 52% in overall sexual satisfaction, compared to a placebo group. But more impressive still, 89% of these men reported feeling more vital and energetic in general. When I recommend rhodiola rossi, I always emphasize the critical importance of authenticity. The market is flooded with products that claim to be rhodiola, but are common herbs from other regions, or worse yet, adulterated mixtures. True rhodiola rossi comes with certification of origin and should have standardized percentages of active compounds. The dose I recommend for men 60 is 300 to 600 milligrams daily of standardized extract, preferably taken on an empty stomach in the morning. Never at night because its energizing effect can interfere with sleep. And here's something important. Rhodiola should be taken in cycles: 6 weeks taking it, 1 week rest. This prevents tolerance and maintains its long-term effectiveness. William continues his rhodiola protocol 3 years later and tells me it has been the most important investment of my life. Recently, they celebrated their 46th wedding anniversary, and Sarah told me that we've never been so connected, so happy, so alive together. Here at Life After 65, I've seen that rhodiola rossi not only restores vitality, but returns to men that sensation of being fully alive in their own bodies. But when you combine this golden root with the final secret I'm going to share with you, and especially with the special technique I'll reveal at the end, you're going to experience a synergy that can completely transform your experience as a man. If someone asked me what has been the most impactful case of my career in male natural medicine, I would undoubtedly answer the transformation of Antonio, a 73-year-old man who came to my office not by himself, but literally pushed by his daughter Maria, who was desperate seeing how her father had resigned himself to being old before his time. Antonio had been an active man all his life, a civil engineer, weekend mountaineer, devoted husband to Carmen for 51 years. But after retiring, something in him had gradually but inexorably dimmed. It's like he decided he already fulfilled his function in life, Maria explained to me with tears in her eyes. My mother confessed to me that it's been more than 2 years since they've been intimate, and I see that Dad is ashamed of this, but doesn't know what to do. When I finally convinced Antonio to tell me his story, I understood I was facing a pattern I see frequently in men of his generation. The belief that loss of virility is simply the natural price of aging. Antonio had accepted this narrative without questioning it. And that resignation was, in many ways, more destructive than any physical problem. Dr. Fischer Antonio told me with a mixture of sadness and dignity, "I've worked all my life, raised good children, been a good husband. If now my body tells me that stage is over, maybe I should accept it and focus on being a good grandfather." Those words hurt me deeply, because I recognized in them the voice of thousands of men who have given up a fundamental part of their identity without knowing they had options. It was then that I decided to share with Antonio the final secret of my natural arsenal, maca root, a tuber that grows in the harsh conditions of the Peruvian Andes, and that, for millennia, has been known in traditional medicine as the resurrector of male virility. Maca root isn't just any herb, it's what I call the ultimate catalyst, because it works subtly but deeply effectively on the most fundamental aspects of male sexual function. Its active principles, the macamides and mechamides, act directly on the hypothalamus to stimulate the natural release of luteinizing hormone, which in turn signals your testicles to produce more testosterone. But here's what's brilliant about maca. It doesn't introduce external hormones to your body, but optimizes the production of your own hormones. It's like having a personal trainer for your endocrine system, reminding your body how to function at its maximum potential. Studies conducted at the Universidad Cayetano Heredia in Lima demonstrated that men between 65 and 80 who took 1.5 grams of maca root daily for 90 days experienced an average 25% increase in free testosterone and an 82% improvement in sexual satisfaction. But the numbers only tell part of the story. Antonio began with 500 milligrams of organic maca root powder 3 times a day, with meals. The distribution in 3 doses is crucial because maca compounds have a short half-life in the body, and you need to maintain stable levels to obtain maximum benefits. The first week, Antonio didn't notice significant changes, which is completely normal with maca. The second week, he began to report that he woke up with more energy and that his morning walks felt less heavy. The third week, something deeper had begun to awaken. "It's strange," Dr. Lantonio told me at his month visit. "I don't feel anything dramatic, but it's like my body remembered how to be young. I have more strength in the gym, sleep better, and..." He blushed slightly. "Certain morning sensations that I hadn't experienced in years have returned." Those morning sensations are exactly what I expected to hear. Morning erections are a key indicator that the male hormonal system is functioning correctly. When they return naturally, it's a sign that the entire hormonal axis is rebalanced. By the second month, Antonio had experienced a transformation that surprised even his family. Carmen later told me she had recovered the passionate man she married, and Maria was excited to see her father with that spark in his eyes we thought was lost forever. But here comes the most important part of this story, and the secret that can multiply the effects of everything I've shared with you so far. It's not enough to take these 5 natural allies in isolation. The real magic happens when you combine them strategically and specifically. After years of experimentation and hundreds of successful cases, I've developed what I call the Renewed Warrior Protocol. It's the secret technique I mentioned at the beginning of this video. And it's exactly what Antonio and my most successful patients used to exponentially enhance the effects. The Renewed Warrior Protocol. Phase 1. The foundation, first 2 weeks, horny goatweed, 500 milligrams twice daily with meals, L-arginine, 3 grams on empty stomach in morning. Phase 2, the expansion weeks, 3 to 6, add tonkat ali, 200 milligrams morning, 200 milligrams pre-workout. Continue with horny goatweed and L-arginine. Phase 3, the acceleration weeks, 7 to 10, add rhodiola rosea, 400 milligrams on empty stomach in morning. Continue with all previous supplements. Phase 4, the mastery week 11 onwards, add maca root, 500 milligrams with each meal. Maintain the complete protocol, but here's the secret within the secret, the strategic cycling technique. Every 4th week, you take a 3-day break from all supplements while maintaining a high-protein, nutrient-dense diet. This prevents tolerance, resets your receptors, and amplifies the effects when you resume. Antonio tells me this technique was what changed everything. The first 3 months following the complete protocol, he experienced not just a complete restoration of his virility, but a general vitality he hadn't felt in decades. If you've made it this far in this video, it means you're truly committed to transforming your life. I want you to do something for me right now. Leave a comment telling me which of these 5 secrets caught your attention most and from which country you're watching us. Your comment not only helps me create better content, but it can inspire another man who's going through the same thing as you. Male vitality isn't a privilege of youth, it's your right, as a man, at any stage of your life. These 5 natural secrets we've shared today, horny goatweed, tonkat ali, L-arginine, rhodiola rosea, and maca root, are gifts that nature has been offering you for millennia. Here at Life After 65, we believe every man deserves to live with dignity, passion, and vitality until his last day. Don't let anyone tell you it's normal at your age to resign yourself to less than you deserve. The protocol I've shared with you has transformed the lives of hundreds of men. Antonio, Robert, James, Thomas, William, each of them made the decision not to give up, to fight for their right to be fully men regardless of age. Now it's your turn to decide. You can continue accepting that things are as they are, or you can take action today. Walk to the nearest health store, look for these natural allies, and begin your own transformation process. And if this video has given you hope, if you feel there's a path forward, don't forget to like and subscribe to Life After 65. Each subscription helps us reach more men who need to hear this message of hope and empowerment. Your vitality is waiting for you. It's time to reclaim it.